number 10, Kaley, Cuoco, and Johnny Galecki. It turns out that these two stars dated on and off screen, but not everybody knew about it. Big Bang Theory stars Kaley Cuoco and Johnny Galecki have had a pretty solid relationship over the years, but it turns out that not everybody knows just how close these two are. On an episode of Dax Shepard's podcast, Kaley spilled the beans and exposed her old relationship with her former co-star, telling the audience that she and Johnny had dated for 2 years during the show's run. Opening up about the whole thing, Kaley told Dax, quote, "We dated really early on for almost 2 years. When we did the pilot, I was crushing so hard on Galecki, but he had a girlfriend. We got together and just fell mad for each other for 2 years, but then we broke up. Luckily, Johnny and I came out of it so brilliantly, and we're closer today than we ever were." Even though Kaley and Johnny are better off as friends, it makes things a little clearer when you look at the chemistry that their characters had on screen. It's good to know that even though things didn't exactly work out romantically, they're still very close. At number 9, Ashley Benson and Cara Delevingne. For Ashley Benson and Cara Delevingne, they like to keep their private lives private, and that includes their love life, but just because they kept their romance out of the spotlight doesn't mean that fans wouldn't go looking. Since the moment people found out that they were working on a film together back in 2018, the speculation arose surrounding their potential relationship. In April 2018, the two were filming the movie Her Smell, and not too long afterwards, in May of that year, the relationship speculation came about after Ashley posted their first selfie together on Instagram. Following this event, fans couldn't lay off looking into their supposed relationship, though the pair never confirmed anything. These fans were certainly dedicated to sniffing out their relationship. Both Ashley and Cara went on record saying that even if they were in a relationship, they wouldn't confirm it because they'd like to keep their private lives private, but soon enough the pair was spotted kissing in public and basically confirmed all of the rumors. Finally, in June 2019, Cara confirmed that the two were dating and that they had moved in together, making their fans jump for joy, but unfortunately their relationship wasn't meant to last and the couple have since broken up. But I mean, they really went a while without publicly announcing their relationship, so they got to savor those moments without much scrutiny. Now, before I carry on with the video, I would like to take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video because it really helps us out a lot, and also, some of our friends from Most Amazing Top 10 have a brand new channel coming out called Bumblebee, and if you love strange and mysterious content, keep an eye out on August 11th when their first video goes live, so make sure to go subscribe to them now and tell them that we sent you. At number 8, Brenda Song and Macaulay Culkin. I guess you could say that for these two, the movie Changeland changed their lives forever. But I'll take my leave. Former Disney Channel star Brenda Song and former child actor Macaulay Culkin got together after working on the film Changeland after being introduced by Seth Green, and from that point on, it's been the two of them against the world. Their relationship is public knowledge now, but that wasn't the case at the beginning of their relationship because they kept their personal lives to themselves. Rumors of their relationship only started swirling in 2017, but they never publicly addressed it until 2019. Between that time, when people would ask about the rumor that they were seeing each other, they would basically respond with the good old no comment response. Once they officially went public with their relationship, that's when we got to find out the juicy details regarding their pets, what they like about each other, and how in love they are. To make things even cuter, Brenda and Macaulay recently welcomed their first child in April of this year. At number 7, Matthew Broderick and Jennifer Grey. One of my favorite movies of all time is Ferris Bueller's Day Off, so to find out about the secret relationship that was going on the set of this movie is an extra special treat for me, and it might be for you as well. Turns out that Matthew Broderick, who played Ferris Bueller, and Jennifer Grey, who played Ferris's sister Jeannie, were actually a couple, and they were even engaged at one point. According to Jennifer, the romance started while they were filming Ferris Bueller, saying that it was a little difficult for them because their relationship was a secret. Their romance even affected their work because even though they were supposed to be playing rival siblings in the movie, always being at each other's throats, Jennifer would say that they would often break character, saying, quote, "I got the giggles so bad that they basically had to stop production. I full on couldn't get it together for anything. The producers were like, take a walk around the block, and I would, and it would start again. It was painful. The giggling was because of all the energy between us." At number 6, Vanessa Hudgens and Josh Hutcherson. Raise your hand if you didn't know that Vanessa Hudgens and Josh Hutcherson dated. Don't be shy, it's okay if you didn't know, because apparently a lot of people didn't. Turns out that Josh and Vanessa dated sometime around 2011. Now, we don't have much information about their relationship because it was kept so hush-hush, but what we do know is that it happened, and then it happened while they were filming the movie Journey 2. The two met on set of the film and hit it off from there, but their relationship was pretty short-lived. The public only found out that they had briefly dated when the two of them were doing press for Journey 2, and someone asked how long they had been dating. There's a video of the cringy revelation revelation that they had dated and broken up already, but because I like you guys, I will spare you that agony. But if you want to go watch it on your own time, after this video of course, just don't say I didn't warn you.
Next is Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse was a British singer-songwriter known for her expressive and gritty musical genres. She's been married and divorced and has had tons of turbulent love affairs during her time in the spotlight before her tragic and sudden passing. After she divorced from her husband, Blake Fielder Civil, Amy got really close with her bodyguard Neville. The reason she got divorced, by the way, was because she allegedly enjoyed romantic liaisons with other men while on vacation in the Caribbean islands. When speaking of the new relationship, the artist apparently told her friends that she liked him because, quote, "he makes me feel safe because he's big and strong." They were even seen going on vacation with one another to St. Lucia, where she introduced him to her friends and family. They were romantically linked for a few months before eventually fizzling out over time. I wonder if he kept working for her after the breakup. Awkward. Next up is the late actress Elizabeth Taylor, one of my personal favorites. She was one of the most popular stars of the classic Hollywood cinematic era. On top of being one of the biggest stars of her time, she was also just as known for being the type of woman to fall in and out of love very easily. She's been married and divorced 8 times throughout her life to 7 different men, but her last husband was her own personal bodyguard, Larry Fortensky. After she got divorced from her husband before Larry, John W. Warner, Elizabeth remained single for over 10 years. That was until she met Larry in 1991. Although the two were only together till 1996, they remained extremely close even after the divorce. They remained close friends until Elizabeth passed away in 2011. Next up is the daughter of Princess Rainier III and Grace Kelly, Princess Stephanie Elizabeth. Unlike her movie star mother, known for her dazzling beauty and personality, Stephanie has had an extremely tumultuous relationship with, well, relationships. The princess is known as quite the wild child, and obviously, being royalty, she has a rather impressive security detail. One such member of her security and a personal bodyguard of hers got very close to her, and the two secretly dated for years before shocking everyone by marrying him in a civil wedding at the Palace of Monaco. They also had 2 children together, but sadly divorced after only a year of marriage. The reason behind their divorce, apparently, was because her bodyguard was getting caught being extremely romantic and intimate, if you know what I mean, with another person. After the discovery was unveiled, he was promptly kicked out of the royal family. Next up is Kim Kardashian herself. Back in the early days of her hit reality television show and all of its spin-offs, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim documented the wild time of her single life shenanigans. One such episode details her and her friends going out to a party in New York. During Kim's wild night, she documents having a fling with her personal bodyguard, Shango Dian. The Australian bodyguard and her were seen together a ton of times throughout the filming of the reality television show. That being said, Shango found his true love and wife, marrying her less than 2 months after Kanye married Kim. Even though it didn't amount to anything, their hookup is well known for its appearance on the reality television show. Eventually, Shango had to leave the Kardashian clan because of a multitude of issues, including an expired visa and inability to keep up with the Kardashians. Quote, "They are a beautiful family and I enjoyed being part of that, but I didn't really have a lot of work over there and I didn't want to have to ask for $50 to go to the movies." That being said, he and Kim have surprisingly maintained contact. Shortly after she dissolved her marriage to Kanye and began dating Pete Davidson, Kim went on vacation to Australia and she had emailed Shango to see if he would be part of her security detail. Sadly, it didn't work out because a security team had already been constructed, but it was nice to see that there were no hard feelings between the two. Scarlett Johansson is next up on the list. The American actress, known for tons of blockbuster movies, had a fun fling with her personal bodyguard way back in 2012. She and him got super close to one another over the summer and even went on vacation together on board a yacht in the Mediterranean. So not only did he have her back, but he also helped oil it too, as they tanned and got super cozy with one another. What's interesting about this seemingly short fling is that Scarlett was with another man at the time. She was dating an advertising executive, and although I can't seem to find any information on how he felt about Scarlett being buttered up by her personal bodyguard on their private vacation, I can't imagine he was too happy about it. It seems though that they would fizzle out after only a few months together and move on to separate people.
At number 10, Jessica Simpson. I'm not one for cheating. I am a very faithful person and a very honest person, but I also know that if you were to cheat on your partner, you might want to try hiding it better than Jessica Simpson did in the mid-2000s. Paparazzi exposed Jessica for allegedly cheating on her then husband Nick Lachey when they photographed the singer leaving the Chateau Marmont hotel. See, upon hearing that, you think, I don't know, maybe she just had a wild night and she needed to crash the hotel, or maybe she was visiting a friend, or anything else. She was known as the industry's goody two-shoes girl, so no one would have expected an alleged affair being the reason for her stay at the hotel. The evidence supports that. How about the fact that when she was photographed leaving the hotel, she was seen wearing Adam Levine's shirt? Not too long ago, Jessica came out and admitted to her extramarital affairs during this time, so maybe she was really there with the Maroon 5 frontrunner. At number 9, John Mayer and Jessica Simpson. Speaking of Jessica Simpson, she seems to have a reputation for having her relationships exposed by paparazzi. Photographers caught John Mayer and Jessica Simpson while on vacation in Cabo, and when they captured the photos of the couple, they had no clue that they had actually witnessed the exact moment that their relationship ended. Apparently, their relationship had been rocky for a while, so I'm guessing that this is why photographers were following the couple so intently looking for a scoop. I doubt they were expecting to strike gold with this picture. As they snapped the photo and released it to the public, news of their breakup broke, but it doesn't seem like John and Jessica had even the slightest chance of keeping their breakup under wraps. I still can't believe that it was actually confirmed that their relationship officially ended seconds before these pictures were taken. That's insane. Before we carry on talking about these juicy celebrity hookups, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin. When fans are really invested in a couple, they will do anything to get the latest relationship gossip. Same goes for when a celebrity calls it quits. For the next few weeks after their breakup announcement, paparazzi will be everywhere trying to catch a glimpse of those people trying to look for a scoop. Well, this is exactly what happened with Dakota Johnson and Chris Martin. In June of 2019, Dakota and Chris announced that they had broken up after 2 years together. Obviously, having been together for so long, their split was big news and the paps just had to get in on the scoop. Well, it wasn't until a few months later when photographers spotted the two having a day together at the beach. They snapped some photos and broke the news that the two were not split up as everyone had thought. The fires of love had reignited and the paparazzi were the ones to expose the truth. At number 7, Kristen Stewart and Rupert Sanders. At the time, this incident was big news. When paparazzi snapped photos of Kristen Stewart and director Rupert Sanders in an affair, the news blew up. Paparazzi exposed their secret relationship, and honestly, it's stuck with Kristen till this day. When you ask people why they hate Kristen, the overwhelming answer is because of her cheating scandal. The exposure was enough to end both Sanders and Stewart's relationships with their partners. The whole thing went down while filming Snow White and the Huntsman, so I guess as Twilight came to a close, so too did the coveted relationship between Bella and Edward. This scandal was probably one of the best examples of paparazzi blowing the doors of a story. At number 6, Rihanna and Ashton Kutcher. Here's the tea on this fling, so get your mugs ready. Apparently, Rihanna and Ashton had a little entanglement back in 2012 as she was spotted leaving the actor's house in the early hours of the morning back in March of that year. Sources suggested that the two had reportedly had a one-night stand, noting that the singer had arrived around midnight that night and left around 2 a.m. This spotting sort of confirmed some people's speculation that there was something going on between the two of them because this wasn't the first time they were seen getting close to one another. According to one source, they had been flirting and texting with each other and meeting up at hotels. Other sources said that at the time they were just two single people having fun and saying, quote, "Both of them love a good time and I think they're just too busy for anything serious just yet." End quote. There was no definite end to this fling, and since it wasn't anything serious, it doesn't really matter, but it's still interesting to find out that these two Hollywood stars were so close at one point.
Number 5, Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott. The Beverly Hills 90210 star and her husband, Dean McDermott, have been making headlines since their scandalous start. The two actors met on the set of Lifetime's Mind Over Murder in 2005, only a year after Spelling married her first husband, Charlie Shanahan. Dean was also married at the time for more more than a decade to marry Joe Eustace, with whom he shares a son. Tori and Dean began cheating on their spouses the night they met. In fact, she wrote about the affair in her 2009 memoir, quote, "It was love at first sight. I fell so hard. Then I noticed he had a wedding ring. When someone asked, he pulled out photos of his children, and oh yeah, I had a husband too." Yeah, there's no making that sound better. She went on to say that the couple ended up spending the night together despite the fact that they were both married. And she knew it was meant to be because when she woke up next to Dean the following day, she said she had no regrets. The two married and went on to have 4 children together before yet another cheating scandal rocked their relationship in 2013, this time with Dean and the nanny. Number 4, Kate Hudson and Owen Wilson. The Hollywood stars had a massive cheating scandal while filming the 2006 comedy You, Me and Dupree, most likely because Kate was married to rock musician Chris Robinson for 6 years when she met Owen. The actors had a wild affair that lasted only 6 months, but it was definitely long enough to ruin Kate's relationship with her husband forever. Amid the rumors of infidelity, the Black Crowes singer ended up filing for divorce from Hudson in November 2006, citing irreconcilable differences and seeking joint custody of their then 2-year-old son Ryder. A month after the film opened in July, Kate and Owen were confirmed to be officially dating. But the affair didn't seem to stack up to anything, as the couple's relationship was short-lived, and they broke up less than a year later. As the public started to turn against the actress, she countered the speculation by telling Harper's Bazaar that's not what happened. But looking back at the 2006 press tour, it was pretty obvious that something was happening between them, because it got kind of inappropriate. Owen asked her about wearing a bikini in the film and whether she and her husband have ever had a third wheel experience. Number 3, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Many Hollywood romances have started on screen and bled into the real lives of the actors involved. The most iconic has to be that of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. The two engaged in a scandalous affair after meeting on the set of To Have and Have Not back in 1944. Bacall was only 19 when she first met Bogart, who was already an acclaimed Hollywood star and 25 years older than her. But that wasn't the only issue. At the time, Bogart was married to actress Mayo Methot, but their relationship was reportedly falling apart. Bacall confessed in her 1978 memoir that there was no clap of thunder or lightning bolt moment when she first laid eyes on him in 1943, but the actors became close on the set when she was nervous about the production and turned to her co-star for support. Just 3 weeks into filming, the pair shared their first kiss in her dressing room after a day of filming, and he asked her for her phone number, which she famously scribbled on the back of a matchbook. After that, they began meeting in secret places and using their on-screen names to disguise their identities. Bogart eventually divorced his wife in 1945 and married Bacall just 11 days later. Number 2, Sienna Miller and Daniel Craig. Scandal erupted in 2005 when Sienna Miller's confession of love to Daniel Craig was publicly broadcast to the world, while she was still married to Jude Law. The two were co-stars in the 2004 film Layer Cake with Sienna, and at some point the two got a little bit closer than they did on screen. But how did the news of the affair get out? Well, that's the tricky part. A journalist hacked Daniel's voicemail, retrieving a message that came from Sienna's phone number. Both parties tried to discredit the audio tape at first, but when the hearing took place for the hacking trial, it was proven to be authentic. Sienna tried to play it off and told the court that she always ended phone calls saying "I love you," insisting it wasn't some huge declaration of love. She denied that the message meant she was in a relationship with Daniel, but she did admit to the court that they were briefly involved. Jude reportedly learned of his wife's affair from the newspaper story and called Daniel to confront him, because the two used to be close friends. Talk about messy. And coming in at number 1, Meg Ryan and Russell Crowe. In the 90s, Meg Ryan had a squeaky clean image thanks to her role as a leading lady in many rom-coms like When Harry Met Sally and Sleepless in Seattle. But her reputation took a huge hit when it emerged that she cheated on her then husband, Dennis Quaid, with her co-star Russell Crowe. Meg and Dennis had been married for 9 years and already shared a son together when she met Russell on the set of the 2000 thriller Proof of Life, and the pair had instant chemistry. But the affair reportedly caused awkwardness amongst the cast and crew, as the actress didn't even appear on the press tour because she was so worried that they would be asking her about it. In fact, the film's director, Taylor Hackford, blamed the cheating scandal for the film being a flop at the box office. Meg was publicly shamed, especially after she and Dennis officially announced their separation, because it allegedly put too much strain on their marriage. When she began dating her co-star, it really changed the public's perception of her as the quirky rom-com lead. In fact, she told The Guardian in 2003, quote, "I was all over the tabloids and I walked through the lobby and the place stopped. People stopped stopped talking and stared at me. Goes to show you how sensational the affair was at the time.
Starting off at number 10, we have Travis Scott and Rihanna. Many people don't know about this couple because the time they spent together was kept very secret. Obviously before Travis started dating Kylie Jenner. Although the pair were seen out a few times, neither party confirmed that they were actually seeing each other. The only confirmation we got that they actually dated was from inside sources. The relationship was first exposed on an episode of the Throwing Fits podcast. Then journalist Jonah Wiener shared more about the relationship with Complex. Wiener said, quote, "I broke the news about him and Rihanna, which they told me not to do. It's not because he's like, don't tell anyone I'm smashing Rihanna, it's because Rihanna's like, don't tell anyone I'm smashing Travis Scott, please." Adding, it's obviously embarrassing as hell. And if this is true that she was embarrassed of him, I respect Rihanna even more than I did before. In at number 9, Tom Ackerley and Margot Robbie. Since Margot Robbie is known for playing the love interest in most of her movies, it's a shock to learn that she's been married this whole time, but intentionally kept it a secret. Some speculate that her management has forced her to appear single so her married status would not affect her work. Robbie and Ackerley were roommates before they dated and eventually married in a surprise ceremony in 2016. And it's near impossible to find a photo of them together on her Instagram or on the red carpet. Usually Robbie attends red carpets alone. In April of 2019, Robbie posted a rare photo of the couple on vacay in Finland. In at number 8, Daniel Craig and Rachel Weisz. This high-powered couple is another that is incredibly secretive. According to Metro, the couple first met in college and were friends for years, but it wasn't until they starred in the 2011 movie Dream House together that they actually started dating. Not only has the relationship been a secret, but so has the marriage. Apparently the two got married in 2011 in a secret ceremony that was attended by just 4 people. They have been quietly together ever since and even started a family together. They now share a child together that was born in 2018. The pair are so secret that they don't even attend a lot of public events together, but it works for them. Weisz told the New York Times, quote, "Daniel and I are really similar. We're just really crap at talking about our private lives." It seems that the pair also believe it's not a good idea to speak about their relationship to the public. In at number 7, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Beyonce and Jay-Z's relationship is happily out in the public now, although the details on what goes on behind closed doors is still very secretive. Although you might not know that the couple kept their relationship hidden during the first few years that they were together. According to People magazine, they initially started dating around 2000, but the media didn't learn about their romance until 2004 when they went to the MTV VMAs together. Even when they started appearing out in public together, their relationship was still private. The couple later got married during a secret ceremony in 2008 that nobody knew about for months. The only time we really see the couple together is during rare interviews or when either of them releases a documentary. In at number 6, Matthew Perry and Lizzie Kaplan. This couple kept their relationship so well hidden that nobody knew that they were even together until long after they split. And it's even more impressive because they dated for a whopping 6 years. It was reported that after 6 years of being together, they split in 2012. They kept their breakup secret for over a year before it was even announced. Sources said after the split that the two did not agree on their long-term goals. Kaplan wanted to get married, but Perry was not interested. The source added, quote, "The last year that they were together, it was very up and down, a lot of back and forth. It was hard for them to let go, but ultimately Lizzie decided she wanted more." The source didn't know if Perry was against marriage altogether or if he just not wanted to get married to Lizzie.
Number 5, Ewan McGregor and Mary Elizabeth Winstead. The co-stars brought their on-screen romance into the real world after working together on the FX series Fargo. The pair appeared on season 3 of the anthology crime drama, which debuted in April of 2017. Only a month later, the actress announced on social media that she had split from her husband of 7 years, Riley Stearns. Following her separation, Winstead was spotted on a date, hooking up with McGregor in London, and cheating rumors were flying because although she was single, he was very much not. The train-spotting actor was still married to Eve Mavrakis at the time, with whom he shares 4 children. After the Emmy winner was spotted getting cozy with Winstead, fans began to wonder about the status of his marriage, but it wasn't until January of 2018 that his now ex-wife filed for divorce. But while the two managed to keep their romance relatively private, their relationship raised eyebrows even among their family members. In fact, in August of 2018, McGregor's daughter Clara had some strong feelings on the new relationship at the time. She took to Instagram to comment on a Mary Elizabeth Winstead fan page, quote, "Most beautiful and talented woman on earth? Oh man, y'all are delusional. This girl is a piece of trash." Wow. Number 4, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. Although it's been over for decades, Nicole Kidman's marriage to Tom Cruise is still one of Hollywood's most talked about relationships. Cruise met Nicole Kidman on the set of the movie Days of Thunder, and the pair were instantly smitten with one another, and they soon started engaging in a torrid love affair. But at the time of meeting, you guessed it, the Top Gun actor was still married to Mimi Rogers, whom he wed in 1987. As it became clear that the affair was more than just a simple fling, Tom divorced his first wife in February of 1990, and less than 1 year later, he exchanged vows with Nicole in December of 1990. They even adopted 2 children, Isabella Jane and Connor Anthony, and eventually went on to make 2 more movies together as a couple. But as we all know, their marriage was far from perfect, and they ended up splitting a decade later in 2001. Looking back on the divorce, Nicole said, quote, "It took me a very long time to heal. It was a shock to my system. We were in a bubble, just the 2 of us. We became very dependent on one another." Number 3, Billy Crudup and Claire Danes. The massive scandal started in late 2003. Billy and his girlfriend of 8 years, Mary Louise Parker, who at the time was about 7 months pregnant with his son, broke up. The New York Post reported that the actor had moved on with his stage beauty co-star Claire Danes, who was only 24 at the time. In the summer of that year, the former co-stars had been spotted getting cozy all over New York City, and even had a very cute looking courtside date filled with PDA. But Billy wasn't the only cheater in that situation, as Claire also ended up breaking the heart of her longtime boyfriend Ben Lee to be with the actor. Their love affair didn't last long, however, and it's clear that all the heartbreak wasn't even worth it, because they ended up splitting up just 3 years later. Naturally, the ultra-private couple didn't discuss the reason behind their breakup, but the tabloids were happy to do so for them. Several magazines even claimed that Danes had left Billy for Hugh Dancy, but we'll never really know what happened. Years later, Claire said, quote, "I was just in love with him and needed to explore that. I was 24, I didn't quite know what those consequences would be." Number 2, Morena Baccarin and Ben McKenzie. The Homeland actress furiously denied rumors that she had been cheating on her husband at the time, Austin Chick. But when she got pregnant by her Gotham co-star Ben McKenzie, there was very little she could do to cover it up. And just like that, the cheating rumors were confirmed. Although the actress tried to shut down the allegations, according to a TMZ report, the divorce papers filed in 2015 by Austin show that he claimed that he was still sharing a bed with Morena when she conceived Mackenzie's baby. She did get a happy ending though, and eventually gave birth to Mackenzie's daughter Frances in March of 2016, just 2 weeks before her divorce from Austin was finalized, and went on to marry Mackenzie in June the following year. But did she at least feel a little bad for sleeping with her co-star while she was married? Well, not really. In fact, she told People magazine that working with him on Gotham was wonderful. Quote, "Ben's the sweetest. It's very nice to work with your significant other, especially when you're pregnant, because you know you'll get some extra TLC and get taken care of." I mean, yeah, I guess that sounds nice if you can ignore the question of how they met. Number 1, John Malkovich and Michelle Pfeiffer. The legendary actor John Malkovich caused intense scandal both on and off the screen when it came to filming 1998's Dangerous Liaisons with his co-star Michelle Pfeiffer. At the time, the actor had been married to actress Glenn Headley for 6 years, but that completely fell apart in the midst of his affair with Michelle. Interestingly enough, even the film's director, Stephen Frears, said, quote, "Dangerous Liaisons is about betrayal and lies and relationships unraveling. It was one of those times where reality and art intersect. It was overwhelming to John. Even for a man who delights in bad behavior, that was a difficult time." Not to mention the fact that John's older brother, Danny, told Entertainment Weekly in 1993 that when the actor came home with Michelle, that was the happiest that he had ever seen him. But even though John and his ex-wife got divorced in 1988, the affair didn't last long either, and they reportedly broke up not long after. But apparently Malkovich took the breakup very hard and reportedly cried for a whole year. The 2 of them must have really had something special, because he told The Guardian in 2008, quote, "It's hard to believe Michelle Pfeiffer ever said hello to me." I mean, if you can forget about the fact that he cheated on his wife, it's still romantic the way he talks about Michelle.
First up on the list is Heidi Klum, the German supermodel and well-known TV personality for her appearances on television shows Project Runway and America's Got Talent. Her love life is almost as infamous as her work in the media, with the wild ride of ups and downs. She's been married 3 times and has been romantically linked with tons of other celebrities. But in 2014, after she filed for divorce from her former husband Seal, the model started dating her security guard, Martin Kristen. When they started dating, Martin had been Heidi's bodyguard for 4 years. quote, "He has cared for our entire family, primarily for our 4 children. He helped us tremendously. He's a great man, and we just got to know each other from a completely different perspective." They would date for about a year and a half before deciding to call it quits in late 2013. Apparently, the reason why they split was because Martin got bored with being a house husband and having everything handed to him. I guess not everyone lusts for fame, heavy respect. Next on the list is Jennifer Lopez. Before A-Rod and even before Ben Affleck, Jennifer Lopez was extremely close to her bodyguard and personal trainer, Ojani Noah. While they may have been pretty intimate, especially with all the time working out and protecting the singer and actress, before they would eventually start to date in 1996. In fact, they were so close that they got married to one another in 1997. The two would only be married for 10.5 months before they decided to split. The divorce was messy, however, and drawn out for quite some time as both parties were unable to reach an appropriate agreement point. The next celebrity is Pamela Anderson, a Canadian-American actress, model, and television personality. She's known mostly for her scantily clad appearances in Playboy magazine and Baywatch. After her time in the spotlight, she's mostly living out her years these days in Canada pretty quietly. While the icon has been in relationships with tons of celebrities throughout her time, she has gotten married for the 5th and hopefully final time to her bodyguard Dan Hayhurst. The two reportedly got extremely close during the stay-at-home order and quietly, in a rather beautifully intimate ceremony, got married in Canada. I mean, just look at these pictures. She looks so happy. Adorable. According to Daily Mail TV, Pam stated, quote, "I'm exactly where I need to be, in the arms of a man who loves me." I love this for her. Next is the princess of pop herself, Britney Spears. The American singer, songwriter, dancer, and actress was the biggest mega superstar of the late 1990s and early 2000s. While now she is in a healthy relationship with her fiancé, Sam Asghari, in 2008 she began an intimate relationship with 2 of her bodyguards. If rumors are to be believed, which they are not always by the way, so grain of salt with this one, but if they are to be believed, then Britney apparently dated her ex-Israeli soldier boyfriend Lee. The two were only casual, however, and would break up only shortly after the rumors started. Then, 2 years later, in 2010, Britney reportedly dated another one of her bodyguards named Ryan. Again, must not have been super serious because we barely see him outside of a few cozy appearances with the pop star.
Halfway number 5, Sandra Bullock and Ryan Gosling. Before Ryan Gosling was with Eva Mendes, he and Sandra Bullock dated for over a year if you can believe it. And the relationship was pretty secretive for 2 A-list stars. In 2002, the pair dated for a little over a year after filming by Numbers together. They never confirmed their relationship while it was happening, but in 2011 Gosling told The Times that Bullock was one of his quote greatest girlfriends ever. Bullock also sung his praises and said he helped her become a more laid-back person, she said in one interview. And at number 4, Jamie Foxx and Katie Holmes. After Katie Holmes' strained relationship with Tom Cruise ended, she got into a relationship with Jamie Foxx that wasn't made public until several years later. It's been reported that the couple first got together since at least 2013, but didn't go public until 2017 after being together for 4 years. Many fans felt the secrecy was not just planned by the couple, it was actually forced by Tom Cruise. After Tom and Katie's divorce, sources revealed that one stipulation of their divorce settlement was that Katie was not allowed to publicly date anyone for at least 5 years after. That rumor has never been proven, but since the announcement, Jamie and Katie had been happily showing off their PDA. Maybe that's because they were silenced for so long. The pair split in 2019, a source said, quote, "Jamie was disappointed, though we understood she needed more of a commitment." And at number 3, Jennifer Grey and Matthew Broderick. These two starred as brother and sister in the hit movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off. They portrayed their hatred for each other so well, I was shocked to hear that the pair actually dated back in the day. The pair started dating after making the hit movie, but kept their relationship low-key because they thought people might think it was strange. However, their relationship came to public attention after the couple was involved in a fatal car crash while vacationing together in Ireland in 1987. Sadly, both passengers in the other car passed away as a result of the crash. Broderick was found to be at fault for the accident, and Grey suffered minor physical injuries. She later said she also struggled for years to recover emotionally from the incident. The trauma from that accident led to their split. And at number 2, Scarlett Johansson and Sean Penn. After Scarlett had a very public divorce from Ryan Reynolds, she decided to leave her relationships out of the spotlight for good. That's why her romance with Sean Penn was kept under wraps. Given how famous she is, it's hard to believe that she managed to keep an entire relationship with another A-list actor a secret. But she did just that when she dated Sean Penn in 2011. According to Johansson, they quote, spent time together for about 6 months. I guess that's her way of saying it was a pretty casual affair. She added in a 2012 interview with Vogue, quote, I never put a title on it really, but we were seeing each other. And even though it didn't last, the pair still remained friends. And finally, number 1, Cole Sprouse and Lily Reinhart. These two played love interests in the hit show Riverdale, and like we see often with celebrity relationships, this pair's acting led into real life, and we assume that they started dating. Although they never made it official, it was obvious to anyone who was paying attention. It's rumored that they started dating sometime in 2017. The pair got in tons of drama too, and apparently were very on and off. One time, Cole was even accused of cheating on Lily with model Kaya Gerber. Then in 2020, Cole officially announced their split on Instagram, writing in a long caption, quote, Lily and I initially separated in January of this year, deciding to more permanently split in March. And what an incredible experience I had. I'll always feel lucky and cherished that I had the chance to fall in love. I wish her nothing but the utmost love and happiness moving forward. All I'll say about it is anything else you hear doesn't matter.
Number 10. Justin Timberlake and Elisha Wainwright. Justin Timberlake and Elisha Wainwright made headlines when they were spotted holding hands during a night out in New Orleans. The two actors were shooting the movie Palmer, which is a drama about an ex-college football star who returns home after being in prison. The co-stars were photographed together getting cozy at a bar in Louisiana, sitting at a table holding hands and talking to one another. The photos showed Justin, who didn't appear to be wearing his wedding ring, holding hands with the actress under a table and drinking together. At one point, Elisha could be seen resting her hand on the singer's knee, and while he was standing up, putting his arm around her waist. The photos caused a huge scandal because he's been married to Jessica Biel since 2012. Their relationship was really being tested, and Justin had to make a public statement the following month, apologizing for his strong lapse in judgment, and claimed that despite the photos, nothing happened between him and his co-star. Number 9. LeAnn Rimes and Eddie Cibrian. This affair was not exactly unique. In fact, it's a story so common in Hollywood that it borders on cliche. The actors were co-stars who met on the set of a Lifetime movie called Northern Lights. They immediately hit it off and the flirting began. But the kicker was that they were both already married at the time to other people. But hey, in classic Hollywood fashion, they didn't let that stop them, and not long after meeting, they were photographed having dinner together, and the rumor mill did the rest. After extreme press coverage of the affair, both LeAnn and Eddie decided to make it official and separated from their respective spouses to be with each other. They eventually ended up tying the knot in 2011, but the story doesn't entirely end there. A few years later, Eddie was caught cheating on LeAnn at Wendy Williams' 50th birthday party, but she claims she's unfazed by the whole thing and doesn't seem to mind if he flirts with other women. You know what they say, sometimes how you get them is how you lose them too. Number 8. Helena Bonham Carter and Kenneth Branagh. The two are believed to have begun their secret relationship on the set of the film Frankenstein in 1994, which Kenneth played the lead role and Helena played Frankenstein's adopted sister, Elizabeth. At the time, he had been married to Emma Thompson for 8 years, who was adored by fans. The two were even dubbed the golden couple by the British press, and seemingly had the perfect marriage, which is why the affair caused a massive scandal that rocked tabloids across the nation. They split in 1995, and years later, Emma has admitted that her tearful scenes in Love Actually were so persuasive because she had had her heart broken very badly by Kenneth. It was a little awkward because both actresses had to work together in the Harry Potter films, with Helena playing Bellatrix and Emma playing Professor Trelawney. But in 2013, she revealed that the two had made their peace years ago, and that the divorce was all blood under the bridge. But Emma even joked that she and her Harry Potter co-star were both slightly mad and a little bit fashion challenged, and she said, quote, perhaps that's why Ken loved us both. Number 7. Abby Cornish and Ryan Philippe. The actor first met Reese Witherspoon while starring alongside her in the 1999 movie Cruel Intentions. They actually fell so in love with each other that they ended up getting married that same year. But all good things must come to an end, especially Hollywood romances, and in 2008, Ryan started to get closer to his new co-star, Australian actress Abby Cornish, while they were filming the movie Stop Loss. The two of them seemed to be so comfortable being seen in public together that they were eventually caught having dinner together in a Texas restaurant, despite the fact that there were some curtains around the table. They were also caught together again just outside of Ryan's apartment. The affair was so in your face, it really wasn't wasn't funny, but it wasn't until Reese discovered intimate messages back and forth that were being exchanged between the two of them on his phone. Then it was clear that after 7 years of marriage and 2 children, Reese was ready to call it quits with Ryan, and later went on to marry talent agent Jim Toth, whilst Ryan and Abby's love affair eventually lost its spark. Number 6. Kerry Russell and Matthew Rhys. The actors played secret KGB agents and love interests on the FX spy drama The Americans. The romance between the two sparked while on set, but there was just one problem. At the time, Kerry was still married to Shane Deary, with whom she had 2 kids. The two leads play like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and so naturally, many believe their steamy scenes were indicative of a real-life romance. At the time though, they both heavily denied it. When talking about their sex scenes, Matthew said, quote, "We've all done a million of them in this crazy life we sign up for." He said that eventually the clinical element of it kicks in, which sort of takes away from that embarrassment. But it's obvious that there was really something going on, as the two of them were shopping for furniture together at Christmas in 2013. Not long after, Kerry parted ways with her now ex-husband. Unlike most cheating scandals though, this one seemed to turn out quite well, as Kerry, Matthew and Shane reportedly go on vacations together and frequently dine out as friends. Not only that, but in 2016, Kerry and Matthew welcomed their first child together and became a blended family.
At number 5, Ashley Olsen and Lance Armstrong. Here's a juicy little story about forbidden love. Well, not really, but it's still a little spicy. You see, actress and fashion designer Ashley Olsen and former professional cyclist Lance Armstrong had a bit of a fling in 2007, and very few people were on board with it. They started seeing each other a few weeks after Lance broke up with fashion designer Tory Burch, and sources say that Ashley and Lance were infatuated with each other. The two were spotted on a date at the Rose Bar in Gramercy Park Hotel, and they were seen macking on each other, then later leaving together in the early hours of the morning. Because there was a 15-year age gap, the people closest to Lance advised the cyclist to stop seeing Ashley over fears that this relationship and the large age difference would ruin his career. Lance tried to fight off his infatuation for Ashley, but things just ended up fizzling out a couple months later. At number 4, Kim Kardashian and Nick Lachey. Did you know that Kim Kardashian and Nick Lachey dated? Back in 2006, after splitting from his ex Jessica Simpson, Nick had his rebound game on with Kim K, who at the time was still a nobody in terms of fame. In an interview, Nick shared some details about his relationship with Kim Kardashian, where he claimed that Kim used him for fame because at this time, she was only known as Paris Hilton's assistant. During the interview, Nick said, quote, "Let's just say this. We went to a movie, no one followed us there. Somehow, mysteriously, when we left, there were 30 photographers waiting outside. There are certain ways to play this game, and some people play it well." End quote. In a way, Kim admitted that being linked to Nick worked well in terms of getting her notoriety, as she wrote in her 2010 book, Kardashian Confidential, that after dating Nick, paparazzi started calling out her name when she was out. At number 3, Scarlett Johansson and Justin Timberlake. It is rumored that Scarlett Johansson and Justin Timberlake have gotten pretty close in the past and have hooked up in secret on a few occasions. Their secret relationship of sorts reportedly began after they worked together for Justin's music video, What Goes Around Comes Around, where Scarlett played Justin's love interest. Sources have said that the pair got very close to each other back in 2011 while Justin was dating Jessica Biel. Some sources say that after having a wild night out of town, party hopping in New York, Justin was spotted heading straight for Scarlett's apartment. Now again, nothing is confirmed, but nothing's denied either, so what do you guys think? At number 2, Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Apparently, there was a spicy relationship blooming between Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock back in 2011. Reports said that they had enjoyed a quote-unquote close friendship for about a decade, and that they also reportedly enjoyed some secret holidays with each other as well. This all started happening after the release of their movie Proposal. They never really tried to hide their connection to one another, but they didn't really confirm anything either. They kind of just existed. The two of them apparently spent most of their time at Sandra's estate, and they were even photographed kissing on New Year's Eve. Their publicists at the time tried to convince the public that their relationship was, quote, strictly platonic, but I don't know guys, I think we really know what was going on there. And finally, at number 1, Harry Styles. When Harry Styles was still a rising star in the X Factor, he had his first celebrity hookup. Though it may have been fun in the beginning, it ultimately led Harry to being in his very first scandal, again, quite early on in his career. He bounced back from it completely, but at the time, this sneaky link was big news. Back when Harry was on the X Factor, he developed a crush on the show's presenter, Caroline Flack. Caroline wrote about this little crush in her autobiography, Storm in a Sea Cup, where she revealed that Harry's crush on her was no secret, saying, quote, "I already knew that he had a crush on me, he made it pretty obvious. He'd said it in magazines and he'd said it to friends." end quote. Ultimately, they started dating when Harry was 17 and Caroline was 31. All was well with them until suddenly things got complicated. One day, paparazzi captured images of Harry leaving Caroline's house and a scandal began. Caroline shared her thoughts on what happened next in her book, writing, quote, "It began to go wrong when Harry was pictured coming out of my house one morning, and once that was out, it was open season. After that, anyone could say anything. In the street, people were shouting at me," end quote. Things got so bad that Caroline even started receiving threats from One Direction fans, ultimately ending her relationship with Harry.
Number 10. Will Smith and Margot Robbie. In 2013, Star magazine published a bombshell allegation that Will Smith was caught cheating with his co-star Margot Robbie when they worked together on the movie Focus. The report actually claimed that in photo booth pictures that they found and published on their cover, Will appeared to be shirtless and Margot lifted up her own shirt to reveal her lingerie. The magazine also claimed that after they pulled the curtain back to take the pictures, they were getting very touchy-feely with each other in the dark. The scandal was massive at the time because Will is married to Jada Pinkett Smith, and back then they had yet to admit to having an open relationship. But the rumors soon died down as E! News revealed that the pictures were commissioned by production and that the entire cast and crew saw them being taken. It also came out that Will and Margot are absolutely just friends and there was nothing else going on between them. Even Margot was quick to deny everything on Twitter, quote, "There's absolutely no truth to the ridiculous rumor. It's disappointing that goofing around on set could be taken so out of context." Well, people do tend to jump to conclusions. Number 9. Dominic West and Lily James. The actors were at the height of scandal when they were photographed getting cozy in Rome, all while filming their new series The Pursuit of Love in 2020. The pictures show the stars kissing, sitting at a cafe, standing on the Spanish steps, and riding tandem on a scooter, looking very much to be on a date. Although Lily was single at the time, Dominic has been married to Catherine Fitzgerald for 10 years, and they have 4 children together. A source told The Sun that when Catherine saw the pictures, she was devastated and tried to get a hold of her husband, but he wasn't answering his phone. She was reportedly shocked by the whole thing because she didn't realize anything was going on. But only a few days later, there was a photo taken out the front of the couple's home with a note saying, "Our marriage is strong and we're very much still together. Thank you." Since the incident, James has kept quiet and cancelled various interviews to promote her latest film Rebecca, which is probably a good decision considering the fact that both parties have not yet publicly talked about their affair since it occurred. Number 8. Chad Michael Murray and Paris Hilton. In 2003, Chad Michael Murray and Sophia Bush fell in love while filming the TV series One Tree Hill. 2 years later, they were married. However, they separated just 5 months later when rumors swirled that Chad had cheated on his wife with Paris Hilton, his co-star on the film House of Wax. During the time he and Paris both worked on the horror film together, they reportedly had an affair, according to Backstreet Boy Nick Carter, who was dating Paris at the time. But after separating, Chad and Sophia still had to keep working together for another 3 years on One Tree Hill. If that's not awkward, I don't know what is. It wasn't until 2011 that the actor decided to rethink the way in which he was living his whole life. Quote, "When you're young and you're thrown into something that I was definitely not ready for, I'm human and I screw up." But his ex-wife definitely took the whole affair much harder, and it's clear that his actions really affected her in the long term. In 2017, she wrote in Cosmopolitan that the scandal was a massive event in her life and the trauma of it was amplified by how public it became. She has also said that she feels the marriage was a joke and it did nothing but reduce her to a Hollywood statistic. Ouch. Number 7. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Jen and Brad got married in 2000 in a lavish Malibu wedding and things were perfect for the Hollywood it couple until they suddenly announced their divorce in 2005. What happened exactly? Well, long story short is, Brad met Angelina for the first time on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and the rest is history. Apparently the movie was filled with so much romantic tension, it was impossible for the two stars not to fall for each other. I mean, Mr. and Mrs. Smith is probably the sexiest spy movie to ever exist, so it's easy to see how everything went down. But the problem was that Brad was still married to Jen. But he didn't let that stop him, and they allegedly still got together despite his marriage. To add insult to injury, he said about his marriage to Jen, quote, "I was trying to pretend the marriage was something that it wasn't. I'm satisfied with making true choices and finding the woman I love, Angie, and building a family that I love so much." That sounds pretty harsh, but it turned out that Brad and Angelina's relationship wasn't just a fling, and they actually went on to date for many years and had a large family before finally getting getting married in 2014. The love triangle was one of the biggest celebrity scandals of the early 2000s, and it still dominates the tabloids to this day. Number 6. Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. The actress and writer Carrie Fisher was never one to hold back when she had something to say, and in 2016 she shared a fascinating piece of history in her own memoir called The Princess Diarist. According to Carrie, she had a brief but very intense affair with her Star Wars co-star Harrison Ford while they were filming the movie in 1976. But what's really quite troubling is that People magazine reported that she was just 19 years old when the 3-month affair took place, while Harrison was 36 years old and married to his wife of 15 years, Mary Marquardt. To make matters worse, the couple also shared 2 kids together. In terms of sneaking around, Carrie actually said, quote, "It was Han and Leia during the week and Carrie and Harrison during the weekend." She also explained to The Guardian that the affair between them had eventually come down to unreciprocated love. She said that she'll always feel something for him. The Star Wars actress was so young at the time that they got together, and although she must have known it was wrong, it's hard to say that the blame rests completely on her. What's even sadder is that after Carrie died in 2016, Harrison never fully confessed to the affair, probably more out of shame for cheating on his wife.
Halfway number 5, Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers. This couple silently got together in 2020, and fans were shocked to learn about the unlikely couple. The pair was rumored together during the pandemic, but they kept it out of the public eye until February 2021, when Rodgers thanked his fiancée during a speech. While on stage with the NFL Honors Awards show, he said, quote, "2020 was definitely a crazy year filled with lots of change, growth, some amazing memorable moments. 180 straight days of having my nose hair scraped, playing for very little fans or no stands the entire season. I got engaged and I played some of the best football in my career." Weeks later, when Woodley went on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, she confirmed their engagement and showed off her engagement ring. Sources have revealed that the pair are not traditional and will be keeping it very under wraps. One source added, quote, "They have a very different non-traditional relationship. Shailene and Aaron are still together, it's not odd, and they don't post about each other on their birthdays in that sense, and are very private about things." And at number 4, Nicole Kidman and Lenny Kravitz. Nicole Kidman and Lenny Kravitz are most likely a couple the public would never think of, but these two did date, and even more shocking, they were so serious about the relationship they were even engaged at one point. They got together in the early 2000s and were photographed out and about, but never confirmed any details about their relationship. Until 2017, when Kidman revealed during an interview that they were engaged. When Kidman was speaking about her castmates on Big Little Lies, she said, quote, "Well, I knew Zoe because I was engaged to her father." She said of working with Zoe Kravitz. Quote, "It's all in the family. I love Lenny, he's a great guy." And at number 3, Aubrey Plaza and Michael Cera. Aubrey Plaza and Michael Cera dating is not a shock at all to me. They starred in a lot of comedies together and their personalities seem really similar. But what is shocking is that they kept their relationship totally secret while they were together. After filming Scott Pilgrim vs. the World together, Aubrey Plaza and Michael Cera started seeing each other officially. But they didn't tell the world until after they had broken up. In a 2016 episode of RuPaul's podcast, What's the Tea?, Plaza revealed that they dated for more than a year, saying, quote, "We love each other and we're just really good friends. He's just a weird little freak and we speak the same language." And at number 2, Cory Booker and Rosario Dawson. New Jersey Democratic Senator Cory Booker and actress Rosario Dawson started dating while Booker was campaigning for the presidency in 2019. The rumors that they were dating first started when they were seen out at a performance of Broadway's Dear Evan Hansen together. Then a few months later in March, Dawson confirmed the relationship to TMZ. She said, quote, "I'm just grateful to be with someone that I respect and love and admire so much." The pair are still very low-key and do not share details about their relationship, but Dawson has been spotted out at rallies supporting Booker and has made a few appearances on her social media profiles, along with attending some of her movie premieres. And finally, at number 1, Zach Braff and Florence Pugh. This couple has kept their relationship pretty secret due to their controversial age gap. The couple, who share a 21-year age gap, met on the set of a 2019 short film that he directed called In the Time It Takes to Get There. They have never walked on a red carpet and are rarely seen on each other's Instagram. This is because the first time Braff appeared on Pugh's Instagram, the post was flooded with hate comments regarding their age gap. The comments were later deactivated on the April 2020 post, and Pugh later shared a video statement concerning the backlash. In the nearly 4-minute video, she shared that she was forced to turn off the comments on her post, showing Braff because 70% of the comments were hurling hate. She shared that she is a 24-year-old grown woman and she can make her own decisions about who she chooses to be with. She added that it is nobody's place to talk badly about a relationship that does not affect them. And if people cannot hold their tongues, they should just unfollow her. The pair are still together and are very serious. They also share an adopted dog. In at number 10, Madonna and Tupac. This relationship was super low-key, but it did happen, and two of the biggest musical legends dated back in their heyday. Madonna and Tupac dated for over a year until the late rapper ended things with a letter written from prison in 1995 that later went public when it went up for auction. In that letter, Tupac admitted he needed to break up with her because he felt by being with a white woman, he was letting down the black community. The letter ended up being sold for more than $170,000. The letter is dated January 15th of 1995 and is addressed to his ex, Madonna, or M as he would call her. In the letter, he wrote, quote, "For you to be seen with a black man wouldn't in any way jeopardize your career. But for me, at least in my previous perception, I felt due to my image, I would be letting down half of the people who made me what I thought I was." And number 9, Kaley, Cuoco, and Johnny Galecki. These co-stars' characters were in a relationship during the hit show The Big Bang Theory, but a little known fact is that the actors dated in real life at the same time, but they kept it hidden for the sake of the show. Cuoco revealed that they were together for 2 years, from 2007 to 2009, in an interview with CBS Watch in 2010. She said, quote, "It was a wonderful relationship, but we never spoke a word about it and never went anywhere together. We were so protective of ourselves and the show and didn't want anything to ruin that." However, Cuoco revealed that the secret nature of their relationship is also the reason that it ended, because it took a toll on their bond. She added, quote, "Everyone was always asking and we denied, as she revealed, and I'm like, why am I denying this person that I love?" And at number 8, Renee Zellweger and Bradley Cooper. Both of these celebrities have been in high-profile relationships in the past, but for some reason the relationship between them was kept a secret until their split. Back in 2009, they dated after filming Case 39 together. They never publicly confirmed their relationship, but we were all pretty sure it was happening because they were seen being snapped by paparazzi out and about. It ended up being a good thing that they didn't go public though, because not long after the pair announced that they split. In 2011, it was reported that the relationship ended, even though they never even confirmed it in the first place. And at number 7, Helen Mirren and Liam Neeson. This is another celebrity couple that is not only a bit shocking, but it was kept a secret while the pair were together. The pair first met while filming the movie Excalibur in the early 80s, and you may be surprised to hear that they spent almost 5 years together. Thankfully, the pair ended things amicably and have said only kind things about each other since the split. Mirren spoke about the relationship on the Grant Norton Show in 2018. She said, quote, "We didn't date. We lived together for 4 years. We were a serious item for a while. Lucky me." And at number 6, Cher and Tom Cruise. Another very shocking relationship was between Cher and Tom Cruise. The pair never admitted it while they were together, but Cher revealed the secret to the Daily Mail in 2018. The relationship happened back in the 80s after the pair reconnected at an event. Cher said, quote, "A bunch of people who were dyslexic were invited to the White House. Tom and I are both dyslexic. We didn't go out till way later, but there was definitely a connection there. Back in 1985, he was 23 and she was 38. The pair first met at Madonna and Sean Penn's wedding in Malibu, but it wasn't until their next meeting at the White House when they really connected. She later told Oprah Winfrey that they might have enjoyed a great big romance had their busy schedules not kept them apart."
At number 5, Kit Harington and Rose Leslie. I think I speak for many Game of Thrones fans when I say Kit Harington and Rose Leslie's relationship had us going for a wild ride. Kit Harington and Rose Leslie met while filming the 2nd season of Game of Thrones, and from then they haven't looked back. They're the ones who gave us the iconic you-know-nothing Jon Snow, and from that point we knew they were perfect. After seeing their chemistry together on screen, fans started suspecting that maybe there was something there that was a little bit more than friendly, and soon they were being spotted together in public and rumors started swirling of a relationship beginning to blossom between Jon Snow and Ygritte. They kept their relationship pretty private for the most part, as fans only had rumors and speculation to go off of in regards to their favorite Game of Thrones couple, which was a little annoying, but hey, what are you gonna do? It wasn't until 2016 that the couple went public with their relationship, with Kit confirming that they did fall in love while filming Game of Thrones in Iceland. The couple later got engaged in 2017, married in 2018, and they recently welcomed their first child together earlier this year in February 2021. Happily ever after. At number 4, Nina Dobrev and Ian Somerhalder. When The Vampire Diaries was still on TV, that was a weird time for all of us. At least for us angsty teens with way too many feelings. A lot of us got way too invested in the show and with the actors, so when Nina Dobrev and Ian Somerhalder started dating, it's no wonder they wanted to keep it private. These two actors reportedly started dating while working on the show in 2010, and they were able to keep it pretty much under wraps for about a year. The couple dated for 3 years, but they kept that first year completely to themselves. They were one of those couples who were able to turn their on-screen chemistry into a real relationship and remain friends after they broke up. Fans of the show were obsessed with Nina and Ian's relationships, so much so that the couple won an award for favorite on-screen chemistry. In 2012, there was a rumor circulating that they had gotten engaged, and though they denied that, fans still remained skeptical, though it didn't matter in the end since they ended up breaking up. They still remain on good terms, and apparently Nina is good friends with Ian's wife, so it all worked out in the end. At number 3, Lily Reinhart and Cole Sprouse. Sticking with the theme of teen drama actors and their fans who are way too obsessed with their personal lives, we have Riverdale stars Lily Reinhart and Cole Sprouse. From very early on in the show's run, Bughead was really what fans got excited for. Bughead, for those who don't know, is a ship name for Cole and Lily's characters, Betty and Jughead. So when Bughead became a real thing, fans were over the moon, but it took them a little while to clue in because Cole and Lily were able to keep their relationship a secret for quite a while. There was speculation that the two started dating in early 2017, but it wasn't confirmed until later that year when Lily posted a beautiful Instagram post for Cole's birthday. They never really exploited their relationship much, even after it was confirmed, and tried to keep their personal lives private. In 2018, they made their relationship red carpet official as they attended the Met Gala together, but even then the details of their relationship remained pretty minimal. In an interview, Lily said, quote, "No one knows how long we've been together, and no one will until we're ready to say it. No one knows how we fell in love except for our close friends and us. It's really special." Sadly, for Bughead fans, they've since broken up, but their relationship will still be remembered as one of the sweetest. At number 2, Alexis Bledel and Jared Padalecki. There's nothing better than finding out some juicy secrets about one of your favorite shows years later. That's what fans of Gilmore Girls experienced when they found out that there had been a secret romance that went undetected between Alexis Bledel and Jared Padalecki. It turns out that though they were love interests on the show, their chemistry bled into real life and they had dated while filming the show. But this secret was kept until 9 years after the show ended. Nearly a decade later, and fans of the show finally get to know what was going on behind the scenes. Don't know why they kept it a secret for so long, but hey, at least it's out now. And finally, at number 1, Ross Lynch and Jazz Sinclair. Fans of the chilling adventures of Sabrina were over the moon to find out that 2 members of the show's cast were in a relationship. This revelation came 2 years after it was suspected that there was a romance brewing between Ross Lynch and Jazz Sinclair. As per usual, fans and press alike were searching for clues as to what was going on between the 2 stars, but they were pretty good at hiding their relationship. Fans only got confirmation of the relationship after they went TikTok official in 2020, after they posted a video of the 2 of them dancing together and almost sharing a kiss. Ross and Jazz remain in a relationship, and I personally hope that they never break up because they're just so cute together. Now I want you guys to tell me if you guys are good at keeping secrets. If so, how long did you keep it for? And if not, how long did it take for you to break? I want you guys to tell me all about it down in the comments. Anyways, that's it for me. Remember to go check out Bumblebee and subscribe over there if you haven't already, and subscribe to this channel because why the heck not?